Hello there. I'm Scotty. You're not, and it's about time to cover Amityville. It's about time, or Amityville 1992. It's about time, as it was alternatively called. This movie, not too bad. Not too bad. I like this one better than the last two. The one with the lamp was entertaining, but still a bad movie. This one was better. It's directed by Tony Randall, who did Hellraiser 2. And there's only one actor that I recognize. Well, two, if you count the cameo. We have Sean Weatherly from. She was Jill in the first season of Baywatch. And then the late, great Dick Miller makes a cameo in this film. Great to see him. And this one is about a clock. So we had a haunted lamp and a haunted clock. So if you're on your Amityville bingo, you can fill in your clock and lamp spots because we got a clock in this one. It's established that this was taken from a house in Amityville that was already destroyed, and they're just taking stuff out. So if you're trying to fit this into continuity, you could say that this takes place after the third one, where the house, burned down and the clock was left, although there are no burn marks on it, so I don't know. And I guess they're tearing it down, and this guy, Jacob, the main character here, is building a housing development in New York, even though he doesn't live in New York as far as we know. And he brings home this clock. And as soon as he puts it on the mantle, strange things start to happen. And I liked how this, worked. Like the clock, the weird things that the clock would make. They had good effects. It was K&B. It was K&B. It was Greg Nicotero. I don't think it was K&B, but it was Greg Nicotero of The Walking Dead. And, Robert Kurtzman. I think Kurtzman was K&B. I don't know. But it was good effects, man. Some of the effects in this movie, like there's a scene like the dad, he gets mauled by this dog, and then later, you see he's taken over because the dog, it wasn't really a dog, it was the clock, which for some reason has powers outside of this house, which it always confounds me that a lot of the stuff is outside of the house, even though it should be confined to the house. You see it gets stronger and stronger. At the end, you see when she tears a hole in the wall, you see gears, so completely taking over the house, slowing things down, that sort of thing, turning people old, controlling the dad, and you see he's got like his leg bites, like gnarly effects. It looks really cool. But yeah, beginning, a guy comes home, he's got the clock, he even shows it to his family, and his ex-girlfriend who's watching over them, even though they're both teenagers, but, teenagers. They look like they're at least like 16, 17-ish. They should be able to stay home alone, but, because I was reading, I'm like, oh, daughter, so we have a little girl again. No, the daughter's like 16, maybe older. The actress, I think, was older. We don't get any nudity from her, but we get some implied sexual. We get underwear from her. Sean Weatherly, though, the ex-girlfriend, and this felt like a comedy moment that was played straight, because he's like, you don't have to go home. I'm seeing someone. I know. I'm not implying. I'm not trying to get you to have sex. We don't need to have sex. You can stay down here. You can stay downstairs. I don't have to do anything. And then cuts to the next scene, and they're having sex. I think it's supposed to be comedy. I was like, oh, okay. No, we're not going to do anything. And there you go. And if you ever wanted to see the chick from Baywatch naked, and you're not watching the Pamela Anderson, Tommy Lee tape, watch this. I don't think she was in much, but yeah, she's got it. Let me tell you, she's got it. So the clock starts to make things, weird. The son, Rusty, not Rusty Griswold though, Rusty, he's skipping school, and he goes over to meet this elderly friend, Iris, who eventually tells him, what's going on when he starts talking about where the clock came from. The dad goes for a jog, and I got exhausted just watching him. He sees the neighbor lady and her dog, Peaches, apparently miles from where they live, but they're just right there. The dog apparently attacks him, but when they go to talk to her later, like the girlfriend and Andrea and the son, they go to talk to the neighbor lady, and she has nothing to talk about. They've been home all day, and apparently Peaches doesn't bite. Okay, but the night before, Rusty had a so the night before, Rusty had an encounter with Peaches in the house. Was that the real dog, or was that? I mean, you could say that maybe the dog wasn't possessed. It can't possess dogs, but like it took the form and the neighbor lady's form. I don't know. It's very hard to try to figure out what's going on, but yeah. And so the dad is bedridden, but he doesn't want to take care of it. It just keeps bleeding. He doesn't want to take care of it. He wants to keep working for some reason. I don't know. And then the daughter gets taken eventually, and this is, fellas, maybe some ladies out there, this is like an erotic scene. She's looking in the mirror, right? And she sees it, and like, the mirror reflection goes. She's like, and then the mirror reflection starts touching herself, and then goes down, right? And then the hands come out, and you see the hands touch her here, and then go down, and she's like, so she just got, this chick got possessed by fingering. I like to know how that works. One thing also, Andrea's boyfriend shows up like before this. He's a psychiatrist, so he's the one trying to think logically. Oh, he's having a psychotic episode, or he's kind of losing it a little bit, and like he is, the boyfriend of Andrea, and it's implied they have sex because they don't show a sex scene here. They show him taking off his jacket and then getting on the bed, and I think you hear some noises, and then he goes in his robe and he has an encounter with that possessed Jacob, the dad, and then he freaks out. But the thing is, when he sits down, he has the pie, some ice cream, pie in the microwave for 20 seconds. He sits there and he goes, "You know why he's sniffing his fingers? I know why he's sniffing his fingers. He knows why he's sniffing his fingers." He's going, I'm like, you dog. Also, she's just getting it from everyone. It seems like she slept with Jacob, and now she slept with him, but it is her boyfriend, but, and then we see possessed Jacob freaking out on him, and then he got like a Walther PPK, old James Bond gun, points it at him, and then goes away, and he screams, and then Andrea comes in. And then later he comes in, because he's called to check on Jacob, because his life, he's going crazy, and he injects him with something to put him out, and then he's going to take him to the hospital to get checked and stuff. And I'm confused, because he's okay, I'm gonna sedate him, and we're gonna take him in the car, we're gonna get him out of here. Then he goes to take a bath, and there's this black goop stuff. Oh, that's another thing that was made me kind of go. So after the scene where the daughter gets attacked by the thing and goes down, right? Black goo flicks on the mirror, and I'm like, did the spirit just finish? If you know what I mean? Did it just finish on the mirror? Because that's what it implied. There's some bit of comedy in this, but eventually, like I said, Rusty goes to talk to Iris, not Barry Allen's wife, by the way, not Iris West Allen, but Iris, the old lady, and he mentions that the clock came from a house in Amityville, and so she starts looking it up, and yeah, apparently there was a clock in the house. I don't know. Apparently you can take a clock miles away, or an object from the house miles away. Something. At least this had more to do than the apparently, yeah, there was an object in the last one. It was the confession booth, but it wasn't a part of the Amityville house, as far as I know. And there was little to do with actually spooks and apparitions. It was just the killer. I don't know. That movie confuses me. Dandruff. But yeah, so she starts to research, and he's leaving. He's taken home by Andrea, who's now playing the mother character because the dad is basically out of commission at this point. This is before the being knocked out with the syringe, which doesn't last long because he ends up waking up anyway. But so she Iris figures out what's going on, tries to call, but Andrea's playing mother and won't let Rusty talk to him, so he goes, also, the neighbor lady meets her demise, and the dog too. But he goes to find Iris. Iris, meanwhile, decides she's gonna hobble her old ass down to the house, and her cane gets stuck in a crack, which obviously is opened by the spirits, and it keeps panning back to the cane and into her. The cane to her. I'm like, one of these shots, that van, the ice cream delivery van or whatever it is, it's gonna be right behind her or something. But no, it takes off, and this is where it's gonna get confusing. I was confusing for me. I still don't understand where they got this logic, but so she comes out. She's out there. She's stuck. I'm like, just leave the cane. She left the cane, and so she tries to hobble away. She jumps onto the grass, but the thing follows her, but it hits something and gets stalled, and the ice cream guy's like, oh, I'm so sorry. And then the little stork thing falls on her and kills her, right? In the view of the ice cream man, at least one more witness. Remember that. So, later, Rusty finally gets to her house and tries to check it out, and he gets caught by the cops and is arrested. I'm assuming for her murder, but, like, he ends up back at the house anyway, like, he's taken back home, so I don't know if they think he did it or what. Like, there's swastika stuff being drawn, and they think it's him. Like, everything that happens, they think it's him because he's a troublemaker, he skips school and all that stuff. Meanwhile, we got daughter, now possessed by the house after fingering, seducing boyfriend down to the basement because, this is an Amityville movie. We gotta have something in the basement, right? There's basement stuff. And the last one with the confession booth, they do it here, So, seduces him, gets him down to his underpants. For the ladies, you see it, shape. But she's like, come get me. Like she's in her underwear, and she strips down to her underwear, and then she takes his jacket on, and then he comes in there and he steps in the goop and he gets melted down into nothing, and the effects are fantastic, man. Like, fantastic effects. And the next we see her, she's coming up the stairs. I need to change my clothes. And then when the brother he figures out something's going on, and he goes to, she's like, oh my God, I can't believe it. What? Think you're my brother? And she starts to hit him. I'm like, okay, we're on the incest train again. As if there wasn't enough of that in 2. We're on the incest train again. Luckily, nothing happens here, because he fights her off, and then they decide they have to destroy the clock. I think it does something. I don't know. There's a lot going on, and so she just tries to destroy it. She has the confrontation with Jacob, knocks him out or whatever, or kills him. I don't know. I don't care. This whole climax was really weird for me. It went by so fast. She tries to hit it. Remember this. She tries to hit it, but she, much like the mirror in Oculus, it redirects it to the side of it. That's when you break open, you see the gears. And then when she tries to do it again, she's turned to an old lady, but she's able to light the match because there's gas, and it blows up the house. And then all of a sudden she wakes up back at the night where they got the clock. But she's still holding the yardstick thingy that she had. It's Jacob's thing he does for drawing schematics or whatever. And then Jacob comes in with the clock, shows them, and she freaks out and she smashes the fuck out of it, and she hits it with the thing. And then we get the line. You're like, what the hell was that about? And she goes, it was about time. And then she leaves. And then we see Rusty looking across the street at Iris, and he says, pure evil, or something like that. And she smiles. So, do the 3 of them remember? Because it sure seems, we know that Andrea does, and it seems by the look that she gave him, and by Rusty saying, "For your evil, then they must remember," but the others don't because they were infected by the clock. The other two, everyone's alive again. So if you're doing a kill count, the kill count is 0 unless you count the clock. Because everyone that died, timer's reversed. No one died. Much like in Wish Upon, which is worse than this. This movie was actually pretty good. It's not bad. I think it's the best one since the second one. I wasn't keen on the first one, so I think these 2 and 6 are better than the first one. Even a lot of people say the first one's a classic. I think it was just okay. Certainly, it's better than the 2 before this, but I'm just saying, this is 6. 5 was Curse. 4, the 3 before this then. This 3 was fine, but I think, I don't want to spoil my ranking because the remake might get bumped up. So if we're doing right now, as it stands at the top, is at number 1 is the second one. Number 2 is this one. It's About Time. Number 3 would be the third one. Number 3 would be the original. Excuse me. Number 4 would be the third one. Number 5 would be the lamp one, and number 6 would be Curse for now, and then there's 3 more to do after this. So yeah, but yeah, this wasn't bad. I actually enjoyed it. So what are your thoughts on Amityville? It's About Time. Leave me in the comments below. Make sure to like, share, and subscribe. Thank you for watching. I've been Scouty, and I'll see you in the next one.